Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakak Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles of the great millstone, and as well as giving his salutations thereof towards the Akim that's forwarding this truth worldwide, and shalom to the brothers and the sisters as well. And once again, it's the brother Laban coming at you with another video. And in these videos that I usually do, I speak on different topics, but the first topic being that we have a solar eclipse happening between the 25th, which is today, and the 30th. And by the way, today is the new moon Sabbath. And basically, not only is it going to be a solar eclipse, but also a red moon, a blood moon for that, which is one of the signs that we would see, which the Messiah prepared before us, beginning with the disciples, which were at the time, about these things before the second return of the Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. So let's get into it. This week brings a special day, time celestial side, as 2022 second solar eclipse occurs, but only for some of the globe. Europe and Northeast Africa, the Middle East, and Western Asia will see something of this partial solar eclipse, which will see as much as 86% of the sun blocked by the moon. Everyone in the path will need to wear special protective and solar filters to view the event. A solar eclipse is something that can occur only at the point of new moon, when our natural satellite in space is precisely between Earth and the sun, before it's emerged into the post-sunset evening sky as a crescent moon, but not before Venus performs a vanishing act. Here's what's happening in the night and day sky this week. So what they're going to be doing is, or if they're not already doing already, they're going to go live stream with it. And as it reads also, it says Tuesdays, October the 25th, 2022, a partial solar eclipse, and an occultation of Venus. Today, a partial solar eclipse is the second and final such event in 2022, and other being on April the 30th. It will be visible from Europe, Northeast Africa, and Asia and Africa, and see 82% of the sun's eclipse by the moon. The maximum eclipse point will be in Russia. The event puts the moon in a position to cause a total lunar eclipse in 2 weeks on the 8th of November, one that will be observable from all of North America. For those in South Africa, the partial solar eclipse isn't visible, but only from there. Just an hour later, the new moon will occult the bright planet Venus for about 50 minutes. So there you go. So they're showing you that between the 5-day period, different places around the world will be able to view this phenomenon. And now what I want to do is I want to get to the scriptures, because these are all signs and wonders that indicate the end of this world, simultaneously bringing in the Messiah, which is whom we are pro. You know, when we go out and teach this word, that's what we teach this word in, to herald the coming of the Mashiach Yahweh Shai, which will only but make sense for the saints. All right, so what I want to do is I want to get the book of Matthew 24 and verse 32. And just like I said, you know, it's the only thing that would make sense for the saints to be looking forward to. When you think about the coming of the Messiah, yes, you do think about the severe God-fearing destruction that he's coming with, just coming in between them times. But outside of that, what do we think about at the end? Tranquility, righteousness. So this is why it makes sense for us to herald the coming of the Lord, despite the fact of what it's going to be about. So this is on Matthew 24 and verse 32. Now learn the parable of the fig tree when his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise, Ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Know what is even near, the day of the Lord. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass until all things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. So this time that we're living in right now, everything that is written, in other words, the prophecies which are forth to come to pass, will come to pass, which is going to leave way for the great prophecy, which is what we're expecting, the coming of the Messiah to happen, which will take place in this generation. Going back to how you heard people saying that, how can the end come in this generation when it didn't come in my generation? Well, guess what? The proof that in this generation the end is coming, because what are we seeing? The signs. And we're seeing the wonders that the Heavenly Father is projecting out here constantly, reminding us that his time is upon us. All throughout the years, we've been receiving these signs and these wonders. I mean, we talk about blood moons, solar eclipses, blue moons, which I remember we had a blue moon back in like 2015, if I'm correct on that. About 7 years ago. And then we're seeing the uproars and the different complications among the people. All right. So when you see these things, as it is given the parable of the fig tree, so likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, they know that it is near, even at the door. And verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass until all things be fulfilled. So now let's go and read the book of Luke 21. Because it specifies in Luke 21, beginning with verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, and the seas and the waves roaring. So all of these are happening in this generation. Remember, as it is written, that all will be fulfilled in this generation. This generation will not pass until all things will be fulfilled. So we're seeing all of this at the same time, man. So it gotta be in this generation that the Messiah would have to make his second return. All right. Let's read this again. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon. A risky solar eclipse in Europe sets up a blood moon for America, the naked eye sky this week. So America is going to get a great view of this, and many different places around the world for that matter, where the new moon is actually going to be in front of the sun, bringing forth a solar eclipse. So these are a sign, which is indicating the Son of Man. And upon the earth, the stress of nations with perplexity. Excuse me, let me read this again. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth, the stress of nations. And we're in that time where people are mourning and complaining. Now, I was briefly watching a video of them Haitians, man, because them Haitians are going crazy over there. And one of the Haitians was like yelling out that we don't want Canada there. We don't want American bases there, because y'all are actually adding more fuel to the problem. One man pretty much expressed himself when he had got the chance to, and he said, you Americans and you Canadians, and I'm roughly paraphrasing what he was saying, but what he was saying is that Esau is not the solution, but rather the problem. I'm going to put it on post-production so you can see what I'm talking about.
Non aux Canadiens, non aux Américains. Vous êtes des monstres, vous n'avez pas de solution. C'est vous le chaos, c'est vous les crimes de gangstérisation qui a armé nos frères de les quartiers défavorisés.
So you have that thing going on among where they're in a distressed situation because America is now invading Haiti. and setting up military bases. And we already know why that's the case. All right. And there's other places that are under distress among these nations with perplexity and the sea and the waves roaring. Men's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And what are those things that they're failing for fear? Because they're seeing what you call also, as they say, AUPs or UFOs, which AUP stand for aerial unidentified phenomenon, something to that equivalent. And UFO stand for unidentified flying objects, which according to the saints, which is what we are, once again, the founding fathers of this earth, the Israelites, we know what those things are. So we can identify with them because these things are in the scriptures. Men's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the cloud of power and great glory. Okay. Just like how this individual here back in 2004. This is from the Sun.co.uk, which is another UK news outlet. And it reads, from the deep, U.S. warship encountered enormous UFO black triangle emerging from the sea before flying into space, claims crewman. The USS Nimitz might be best known for the famous Tic Tac encounter in 04, but crewman Kevin Thomas has claimed he witnessed a different incident about a decade earlier. So this is it right here. These are the pictures that they're showing you of the guy that's claimed to have witnessed this object that was in the sea that emerged. 2 Navy pilots are said to have captured and filmed a Tic Tac shaped UFO in 04 during a routine training mission over the Pacific. And the U.S. Navy previously identified the Tic Tac as an unidentified aerial phenomenon after failing to explain the sighting. The mystery have deepened over the time as the Pentagon has refused to answer the questions on the possibility of underwater UFOs. But in the past few years, the U.S. government has taken an active interest in UFO sightings and has even set up a new office focused on solely on investigating them. And the Pentagon knows about the underwater UFOs. They know about this too, man. All right. And the reason why they ain't really talking about that, because it's just going to give way more on the information concerning these, what they call UFOs, and really what these things are, as we know it to be, are the angels of the Lord, which are capable of going through the sun, which are capable of going to the moon and traveling to places that mankind can never travel, and as well as they're even under the water too. All right, Esau knows all of this stuff. That's why all of this stuff is being revealed. This is the time of the Urim and the Thummim, which means perfect lighting. And the modern day Urim and the Thummim are these computers, your personal computer, which is where you get the acronym from, PC, your personal computer. So on these computers, all of the stuff that was not revealed before has now come to the forefront and into the light, as it is written in the book of I believe that's in the book of Luke somewhere, 12. Let me see if I can pull that out. In verse 2, for there is nothing covered. Let me bring this forward. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that it shall not be known. And therefore whatsoever you have spoken in the darkness shall be heard in the light. And that which you have spoken in the ears in the closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. So this is it. So we're in a time where things that were not so in your face are now have been revealed on the Urim and the Thummim. And that is what? UFOs, more information about so-called UFOs in AUPs. And this is why I wanna go into another article from the Zero Hedge, as I always bring this out, articles out on the Zero Hedge. And what they're finding out is that more Americans now believe in aliens, which the term alien is not what you think it is. The term alien just means something that is strange, or something that is strange, or stranger. When people think of the term alien, they think of green men from Mars, or green men that are flying in these UAPs. When in all reality, there's angelic men that are navigating those ships, which are nothing more than the Lord of hosts, the angels of the Heavenly Father. All right? And that's something that the powers that be don't really want to reveal to you. And they know this. They know that there are men, and especially men that look like men of color, that are propelling them ships. They know this too. There's a video on that, man, where this guy, forgot the guy's name, but you brothers know what I'm talking about. The brothers in the know, they know who I'm referring to. And he was being interviewed. Old guy, man, old Edomite, as it appears to be. He could be a Jake, but I'm gonna just go with the thought of him being an Edomite. But he came down, and he was being interviewed by this Edomite woman. And what he said was they were tall, super duper black. They were just about, you could call them black. They were so dark that they were almost black. That's what he said. Forgot the guy's name. If I could find the video, I'll put it on post-production as well.
Okay, but if there are craft, there are beings.
Okay, people have asked me about, I call them vehicles, okay?
Right.
Now, I did not call them objects. That was too neuter for me.
Okay.
I had a Stanford professor said you ought to call them objects. No. They have all of the qualities of a vehicle. Mm-hmm. They can move. They're just like a missile or anything like that. So that much we can say about them, for sure.
Okay.
So I'm calling it a vehicle.
Okay.
Okay, somebody comes along and says, well, now where would you manufacture one that's 2.5 Earth lengths long? And that's a hard question to answer.
So are you not positing the idea that those vehicles contain, beings who are, maybe like us?
Yeah, I only go along with government images. And if you want to know about people kind of thing, there is the ship that picked up the Voyager capsule at Alameda Naval Shipyard, and they have a picture there of I think it's the Apollo flight that Buzz and Neil were on. But anyway, there is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
Well, what?
safe. 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
Have you heard about Clark McClellan's statement about that?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Have you ever been in touch with him?
No.
No?
There is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
Well, what?
it's safe. 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
Right? So the powers that be, as well as the U.S. government, they know the secrets. They know the secrets that they cannot reveal to the public, because it's going to bug the public out, and then it's going to have the public believe that there is a power beyond the power that is controlling them. So let's keep all of that stuff hidden, and this is why they don't really speak about UFO activity among the public. And if they do speak about it, they're going to speak about it more in a conspiratory kind of fashion, like it's somewhat of a joke, or is it even possible that that could even be the case? You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll speak on it like that, but they won't speak on these subject matters on the television like there's other powers. But now it really doesn't matter if the media doesn't really do their job, because we know that Esau isn't supposed to tell the truth. But more people are now believing in the idea of that they're UFOs. And the reason why that's the case is because they're frequently being seen. People are pulling out their phones and they're pressing record, the video record button, and they're putting it on social media, all kind of social media outlets, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on fucking Instagram. They posting it, man. So as this reads, more Americans now believe in aliens, which the term alien means strange. It ain't referring to green men on Mars. All right? Or green men in them ships looking like E.T. Because when you think of the term alien, it's like, and you see these devils, what these devils did, they programmed us to look at the word alien, and then automatically you believe that it's a bunch of green men that look like monsters looking like E.T. When the term alien has nothing to do with that whatsoever. It just means something that is strange. That's all it means. And as I've already said, the entities that are navigating these chariots are indeed the angels of the Lord, that are in figure of like that of a man. All right, dark-skinned men, to be exact, that are controlling these entities, as this guy understands and knows. So anyway, let's get into this right here. As statistics and Fleck reports, where just 20% of Americans thought that UFOs are probably either an alien ship or an alien life form in 96, figures have crept up to 34% in 2022. But what are they like? If they are out there, according to the poll, most U.S. adults think it's pretty unlikely that they would resemble the green monsters of sci-fi stories. You see? So this is the eye that they have in mind. Green monsters. It ain't no goddamn green monsters. The majority would say, however, that they are likely to be far more technologically advanced than humans, with more than a third of respondents saying they thought aliens would even be hostile towards our species, and they will. Because these are the angels of the Lord, which will come down and destroy this place. Right in the midst of this nuclear war, which is coming. All right, because Yahweh Shah is coming with the thousands of them. And he's coming in the great gigantic chariot, as you can see right here. And this is from one of these films that they've made. Because they know the deal. The powers that be know exactly what the deal is, which Hollywood is in league with. They know this. The world of the secret know this, as well as we're the world of the secret on the right hand side. So now let's read the book of Zechariah 5 in verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I seeing a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof of 10 cubits. And then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it. And what did these Edomites do? They stole the whole planet to rule. Gad was given the portion of land which is from, what is it, America to Canada. Reuben was given their portion of land. And what did Esau do? They came over and they took their land, removing the old landmark. They covered fields by violence and oppress a man in his heritage. This is what they've done. And they've stolen men. Not only have they stolen lands, but they've stolen people. Okay? They got us from, what is it, West Africa. They got us from different parts of Europe and brought us to them slave ships and put us in slavery against our will. And as it is written in the book of Exodus, if a man be stolen and he still be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. So let's read this again. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. And even in these judicial systems, they allow you to swear on the Bible to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. And when the prime minister or the president gets in the office, they go through the inaugural process, which is standing in front of the demons. As the elder Apostle Gabar, as I remember him bringing that forward as to what that means. So verse 4 reads, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And who is this house of the thief? America, to be exact, because America is going to be that main land, and it was the main land for the enslavement of our people. All right, which is nothing more a part of the British Empire. And we were brought in slavery against our will to serve slavery. And in serving slavery, we were lynched and we were brutalized in many different ways, man. And still are we in slavery to a degree. All right. We don't even own any corporations. We don't even have a leg to stand on economically. We don't even have our own house, which is what you get the term economy from. The word economy means house, from the Greek word ekos. So we had an economy, but they broke that down and they brought us under bondage to serve in their house as they are a thief. That's what a thief does. A thief comes and steals. All right. And what did Esau do? He came to break us down apart and to steal us. And we were considered stock and property on them slave ships. So Esau is the real thief on the face of the earth, as they've shown themselves to be. All right. And as well as that happened, there was a lot of slaughtering that was done among these devils against the North American Indians from Reuben to Gad. All right. So that was the main land of our downfall as a collective, as a whole entire nation, from the southern kingdom to the northern kingdom. Okay. So this is going to be the land that the Lord is going to enter into. So this flying roll that he saw, he was basically saying that this roll is going to enter into the house of the thief, which really is this, and this time is going to be the Lord's gigantic chariot enter into the house, invading the planet where the whole wide world is going to see. As it is written, all eyes shall see him. And the Lord is going to bring destruction to America. That's all I have to say on that regard. So continue on. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So there you go. Now let's go and read some more. Actually, that's pretty much it. That's all I got to say right there and there. So yeah, that's the end all be all. All of these signs and wonders that we see in the heavens, and as well as we're seeing the chariots, the uproars of the people with commotions and all of that, with perplexity. All of these are signs and wonders that will herald the coming of the Messiah. And as well as even the prophets are a sign, as Ezekiel was. Ezekiel was a sign unto Israel. So we're a sign unto the people. Just like these signs and these wonders that we see in the heavens. Again, indicating the coming of the Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. as we beg to believe that is right round the corner very soon. So with that, I'm closing and I say shalom.